All right, we're gonna get started. So as we know, today is Veterans Day, correct? So we are going to get on our Google Classroom and we are going to watch two videos. Just explain what Veterans Day is. Does anybody know what Veterans Day is? Kyle, what's Veterans Day?
Veterans Day is a day to celebrate those who have served in the military, Air Force, Army, or National Guard.
All right, good job. So we're gonna pull this up.
My name is Rod Pascal, and today we're going to learn about Veterans Day. Veterans Day is always celebrated on November 11th, and I'll tell you why in just a bit. First, I need to tell you what a veteran is. A veteran is someone who has served in the military, also known as the Armed Forces. And Veterans Day is a day where we honor those who have served in the military. Did you know that the military has 5 parts, also known as branches? The Army, the Marine Corps, the Navy, the Air Force, and the Coast Guard. Together, they all serve to defend our freedom. Kind of a big deal. Respect. So if you meet a veteran, ask them what branch they served in, and then tell them they're awesome. The reason we celebrate Veterans Day on November 11th is that is the day that World War I ended in 1918. At 11 o'clock on the 11th day in the 11th month, an armistice was signed to end the war. An armistice is an agreement between two opposing sides that ends a war. Everyone was so glad that the war was over that the next year, in 1919, 100 years ago today, the U.S. declared November 11th as Armistice Day to celebrate the ending of the war. It's called Armistice Day every year until 1954, when President Dwight D. Eisenhower changed it from Armistice Day to Veterans Day, because he wanted to honor all service members, past and present. And that is why we celebrate Veterans Day, to honor all service members who have served for our country, to defend our freedom. Pretty cool. And that's your lesson on this day in Kid History. Broadcast Cal out.
This one. So did anybody hear any of the 5 branches of the military? Journey, what were the 5 branches?
I remember Coast Guard, Navy, and Air Force. And that's all I remember.
All right. Joe, what about you? Can you name the other 2 that she? So we said Coast Guard, Army, and Navy. There are 2 more.
Air Force and Coastal Guard.
Marines. But yes.
Marine Corps.
Yep, Marine as well. All right, so we're gonna watch another video about the history of Veterans Day.
Soldiers from wars both old and new march down city streets. Flags hang from homes, businesses, even car antennas. Ceremonies remember those who dutifully served their nation. It's Veterans Day, or Remembrance Day, as it's known in much of the world. A time to honor members of the armed forces. And it all began in a railroad car with a document to end the war, to end all wars. World War I, also known as the Great War, shocked the global community with its unprecedented toll in human life. Untold millions were killed. Germany was running low on manpower and supplies, so they agreed to sign an armistice, or truce, in the French commander Ferdinand Foch's private rail car. On the 11th hour, on the 11th day of the 11th month of 1918, all was quiet on the Western Front. The fighting had ended. Exactly 1 year later, President Woodrow Wilson decreed that Americans should observe a moment of silence at 11 a.m. to remember the armistice and to embrace the peace. Other Allied nations commemorated the peaceful anniversary as well. In England and Canada, citizens wore paper poppies Poppies had become a symbol of the armistice. The poem Flanders Field described a one-time battlefield. In Flanders Field, the poppies blow, between the crosses, row on row. In America, the nation's first unknown soldier was laid to rest at Arlington National Cemetery on Armistice Day, 1921. He was a casualty of the Great War. Since that first memorial, other unknown soldiers from America's wars have been interred in the tomb. And it's become tradition for the president or one of his representatives to lay a wreath on the monument every November 11th. A resolution was passed in 1926 inviting all Americans to remember Armistice Day and the soldiers who fought so hard for peace. The idea caught on. By 1938, the day was marked with so many ceremonies and parades, Congress made it a legal holiday, giving people the day off work. After World War II and the Korean War, Americans wanted to open up the holiday to include not just World War I veterans, but all who served in combat. In 1954, President Dwight Eisenhower, a World War II vet himself, legally changed the U.S. Armistice Day to Veterans Day, honoring those who served in all American wars. For a brief time, starting in 1971, Congress moved the holiday to the fourth Monday in October, giving Americans a 3-day weekend. But most people rejected the idea. The traditional date of November 11th, the anniversary of the Great War's ceasefire, was too historically important to forget. President Ford reversed the law in 1975, returning Veterans Day back to its rightful date. Over the decades, the holiday has changed with the times. Originally, it was a call for world peace. Then in the U.S., it became a day to remember war veterans. Today, Veterans Day is set aside to honor not just those who served in war, but also those who have served their nation in peace.
What am I doing as a child?
Remember her saying in the camera. Yes, Kyle.
I think it was my great grandfather that served in one. I think, and he was stationed somewhere where the battle was. I don't.
So does anybody in here have any veteran grandparents or anything? I know I do. I know my grandfather served in the Air Force. Mhm. So a lot of you guys have veteran grandparents, even parents who have served in the military or are serving currently in the military, and we thank them every day for just, keeping us safe in our country and serving our country. So next, we are going to read Heroes of the USA.